Hey guys, we're doing our drop 2 still. This is the 5 on top. Physically or mechanically, it's probably going to be the most difficult, at least for the major 7 quality. But as we progress through them, they get a little bit easier. They're also very nice to hear. And I'm going to these instead of the root on top because there's one element there I want to skip right now. First of all, we're looking at a third inversion. We need the 5 on top. So normally you'd have root, 3, 5, 7. First inversion would put the root on top, so it would be 3, 5, 7, root. Next inversion, second inversion, has the 3 on top. So it's 5, 7, root 3. And this is the third inversion. The 5 goes around to the top. So it's 7, root 3, 5. Then it's a drop 2. So from 7, root 3, 5, the 3, the second from the top, moves to the bottom. Review all of our previous discussions on drop 2 if this is too quick and you don't understand that. So the order we have then is 3, 7, root 5. 3, 7, root 5 from low to high. We used our B7 chord once to discuss how a drop 2 could look. We can use it again in this B7 chord. We'll play D sharp, A, B, the root on second string, and the 5, the F sharp on the first string. That's basically this form. So think of your B7 and the top 4 notes. Here I would have first fret, second fret, open for the B, and second fret for the F sharp. If I move that up 1 fret, I would get second fret, third fret, first fret, third fret. 1 fret up from a B is a C. So this is the C dominant 7 on the top set of strings, the drop 2, with the 5, the G on top. So I've got the 3, the E, the flat 7, the B flat, the root, and the 5. That's this form right here. There's your bluesy dominant 7 again. Again, this chord can move everywhere you like. So the C could move up 2 frets and it's a D. D, F sharp, A, and C are the notes in a D7, as you know. And here they are. D, F sharp, A, and C. 3, flat 7, root, and 5. So that's your drop 2 dominant chord with the flat 7 then on the top set of strings. All we have to do then is learn that on the next sets of strings. Let's move it up a little bit more. Let's make it E. So on the top string I have the 7th fret, then the 5th, then the 7th, then the 6th. That's an E chord with a dominant 7, the D in it. If I move this unit onto the next set of strings, so when I go onto this set of strings, let's put it on the C here again. This could be the 5th fret C. The G is the 8th fret. The B flat, also an 8th fret. And the E, the 7th fret. So from bottom to top I have 7th fret, 8th, 5th fret, 8th. E, B flat, C, G. This is the 3, the flat 7, the root, and the 5. So these are your dominant 7s again. Here's that E again. Here's the C. First set of strings. Second set of strings. Notice all that's happened is this note is not moved up as high as it was on the first set of strings. It's back a fret relative to all these other fingers. Let's move that again onto the lower set of strings. In this zone I've got a G here. So G at the 5th fret would have a B, it's 3 on the bottom, the F, the flat 7 at the 8th fret, and the D on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. So there's the G7 chord. In G this was the 5th fret, 7th, 8th, and 7th. Notice again relative to this chord, it's that second string note that isn't moved up as high. So the G chord, the C chord, and the E. Let's put them back in a key like we have with all our other sets of drop 2. This E that I learned, let me move up to F on the 6th fret. C is back here at the 5th, and G is back at the 5th. So you know what I've got here is a bluesing C again. So I've got C, dominant 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. C, 7, 3, 4. F. Back to C. notice they don't sound as good on these low set of strings. At least to me they don't. We're getting the 3 and the 7 at the bottom of the chord, getting the 1 way too high. So these inversions on the low set I don't love as much. I don't use them. But if you like them, you can use them. So that was the dominant 7. I keep using those first to hand you guys if that's all you want. Just get a feel for what a drop 2 looks like in this 5 on top with the dominant 7. But now we'll continue and learn some more about them. So if that's the dominant 7, I have to raise the 7 back up to make the major 7 chord. Since I'm talking about F, I might as well stay on an F here. On the first set of strings, I've got from here 8, 6, 8, 7, with the E flat being the dominant 7 note, the flat 7. So I have to raise that. Make it a major 7 by raising it 1 fret and putting it on the 9th fret. Now we have 3, major 7, root, and 5. Listen to the 7 and the root rubbing each other in the middle there. Also notice something else here. We have a power chord here, root 5 on top. We've seen that before in other positions, but we have a power chord on the bottom too. The 3 and the 7, major 3, major 7 are a power chord. So what's making this so hard to reach sometimes is that we got a 5th here and a 5th here. They're separated by a minor 2nd from E to F. So we'll do the same on the other set of strings. C was here, the G is here. It's spread out more, but that's the root 5. That's the power chord there. On the bottom, the E and the B would be the power chord. 7th fret and 9th fret, the 3 and the 7. And you're hearing that color in the middle of it again. On the lowest set of strings, these are quite hard to reach with my size hands. Here I've got the G and D, the power chord, root 5 on the top of the chord. The bottom of the chord is a power chord, B to F sharp, the 3 to the 7. So we have C major 7, we have F major 7, and on the low end we have a G major 7. Again, for me, a little too colorful for the low set of strings, so I don't really do them. That's major 7 then, root 3, 5, 7, or in order here, 3, 7, root 5, power chord, power chord. Then with the tritone in it, the 3 to the flat 7, we have the dominant 7, 3, flat 7, root 5. Now, for minor, we flat the 3. We get power chords again. Root and 5 are a power chord, 3 and 7 were a power chord. I flatted the 7 so they weren't a power chord anymore. Flat the 3 again so they are a power chord. On the top set of strings, this is awesome to look at. I might as well stay on F, although I'd rather go to E for minor. But I've got 8, 6, 8, 6. So I bar the 6s and grab the 8s with the pinky and the ring finger. Again, 2 power chords, an 8, 6 here, the root 5, and a power chord there, the 3, 7, flat 3, flat 7, and there's your F minor. That's my favorite of the 5 on tops, obviously. Very nice to grab. In the C chord, it's a little hard. We've got to pull this finger back to get the E flat note. So C and G are the power chord, spread out because of the second string. E flat and B flat are the power chord. Very difficult there to separate those two fingers. On the G, it's a little bit better for me. The G and D are the power chord here, and the B flat and F are the power chord on the bottom. So the minor 7 with the 5 on top is a little more comfortable on this lowest set of strings. A little spread out on the middle set of strings, really nice on the top, played within a bar. And now we have to flat our 5 to make a minor 7 flat 5, or half diminished, and then flat the 7 again, diminish the 7 to make it a fully diminished. Once we flat the 5 or diminish the 5, we have half diminished chords, or minor 7 flat 5, and fully diminished, or diminished 7 chords. And they're a little easier to reach because these drop 2s with the 5 on top are really spread out. These are a little nicer as they get a little more collapsed. Let me look at F again from major 7 on down. So we had 6, 8, 7, 9 for an F major 7. 2 power chords in that, the 3, the 7, the root 5. Flatted the 7 to dominant 7, flatted the 3 into the bar, so I have 6, 8, 6, 8, 2 power chords again, 6, 8, 6, 8 for minor. Now we just flat the 5, another physically handy chord. We continue our bar on the 6s, so we have 6, 8, 6 in the bar, and a 7 with the middle finger. That's the flatted 5th. I'm going to move right to diminished from there. I'm going to re-flat the 7. So I have 2 tritones now. A 6, a 7, a 6, a 7. Flat 3 to double flat 7 is a tritone. Root to flat 5 is a tritone by definition. On the middle set of strings, C was a power chord with G, E and B were a power chord on the bottom. Major 7. Flat the B, dominant 7 has a flat 7. Flat the E, minor 7 has a flat 3 and flat 7. Now I flat the 5, the G, into here. And you get a tritone on top. C to G sharp, C to G flat. Power chord on the bottom. Half diminished or minor 7 flat 5. And then to diminish it, you flat the B again from B flat to B double flat, giving you tritones on top and bottom. This fully diminished chord, you already know. We've seen it twice before, just as we've seen this one twice before, because all diminished chords will have the same shape regardless of whether they're root 5, 3, or 7 on top. Once again, the G chord, the lowest set of strings. G and D, root and 5 power chord on frets 5 and 7. Power chord on the bottom, B and F sharp. That's the 3 and the 7. Frets 7 and 9. Flat the F into F natural. That's your dominant 7 with a flat 7. Flat the B to B flat. We've got 2 power chords again. The flat 3, flat 7, and the root 5. Now we flat the 5. This D becomes D flat. Getting a little stretchy again. Trying to get this out here. So I got 6, 8, power chord. 5, 6, tritone. And then diminish it. Pull that F in one more time. Physically it's an E note. Technically it's an F double flat, the diminished or double flat 7. So I have a tritone between B and F double flat and G and D flat. So those are your diminished chords. You've seen all those shapes before. Half diminished. And that's your drop 2s with the 5 on top. When you think of them, you remember 3s and 7s ride together all the time? So 5 is on top, it's with a root. So the top 2 notes are root 5. The lowest note is that voice that came before the 5 and was dropped. So whatever came before 5, the 3, is the second from top, so it's dropped. So you got root 5 on top, a 3 on the bottom, and it has to travel at 7. So it's 3, 7, root 5. You can try to memorize that order, 3, 7, root 5, 3, 7, root 5. I like to know why it's what it is. I like to be able to figure them out, but you only memorize by rote. So say them and write them over and over again. 3, 7, root 5, 3, 7, root 5. Notice 7 root in the middle is also in order. So if we have 5 on top, we have root right under it. We have to have whatever comes right before the root right under that, so 7 root. And 7's always travel 3, so it's 3, then 7 root in order in the middle, and root 5 on top. This is also 2/5. A 3 and a 7 on the bottom is a power chord 5th. The 1 and 5 on top is a power chord 5th. Alright, so that'll do it for today. We'll move on to another set of drop 2s another time. Have a good one, guys. Bye for now.